move on from
bad.
this. No.
Yes.
No. Hey everyone, I'm Alison.
I'm Bryce.
And we're Better Half Reviews. And this video is going to be our best of 2022. It could be best of, worst of, most...
blank of 2022.
Yes, pretty much. So it's a conglomeration of lots of different categories. We asked our Instagram community what videos you'd be interested to watch for our 2022 videos, and this was one of the most anticipated. So we did it. We've got random questions. Don't look. We'll just kind of go through it and talk about some of our experiences and games that we liked or didn't like and other stuff. So the first one is exceeded expectations. I'll go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So for me, this is a game that I thought I wouldn't like very much. And we had the chance to do a review of it, and I'm like, sure, if I don't like it, it doesn't matter too much. I played it, and I was really surprised how much I loved it, and that is Pendulum from Stonemaier Games. It's a game that got a lot of like mixed reviews, and there's, oh, I don't know, I don't like it. So I kind of put it off for a long time. I enjoyed the real-time aspect that it had to it. It felt a bit different, and it was just really intriguing and like a fun strategy game.
Interesting.
Interesting. Okay.
Interesting.
What was yours?
For me, the game that exceeded my expectation was Memoir 44.
Okay.
So, I always want to enjoy war games, but I always get deterred by them just because of how long they take and how complicated they get. And it's just hard to get those types of games to the table, let alone hard to convince someone else to play them.
Sorry.
So, it's just a game that I'm like, I'm probably going to like it, but probably going to play this once. Probably not ever play it again. But then I've played it a whole bunch of times since then.
Alright.
And so Memoir 44, I absolutely love it. I want to call it like a war game light. It's a lot simpler than a lot of other war games. And I just have had a lot of fun playing it.
And it just exceeded your expectations.
Definitely.
I have 0 expectations, so if I like it at all, it'll exceed my expectations.
There you go.
I haven't played it yet. Okay, so I feel like I maybe should have put this like further down, but whatever. The biggest flop for us of games that we played in 2022. So my biggest flop is a Stonemaier game. So I'm kind of going for Stonemaier games right now.
I think I know what it is.
Yeah. And it is Red Rising.
Oh, I forgot about that one. Yeah.
Which one were you thinking of?
I was thinking it was going to be Tapestry.
No.
Because I thought for you Tapestry is a little more complicated than you like.
Oh no, it is complicated, but that was actually one of my picks for the game of the month, I think.
Oh, well, I guess it's true.
Anyway, so Red Rising, after playing it and trying it out, I found out a lot of people, you either love it or you hate it. And I'm one of those, like, hate it. It just didn't click with me. It was just like, okay, and it just didn't flow well, at least at 2-player, and I just didn't enjoy it. And I don't know anything about the source material, so like that didn't matter to me, so the theme didn't matter, and the game was just like, okay, I don't need this. Yeah. And I love it, other people love it, it's just not a game for me.
Fair enough. I felt like we played it several different times, and I was still conflicted about it. I was like, I can see how this can be good.
Yeah, you liked it more than I did.
I did like it more than you did, but at the same time, I was like, I can see how this could be good, but we always kept getting stuck in like, I can't remember what it was, like doing the same actions, or one of the things got like filled, and we're just like...
yeah, you have a whole bunch of cards that you can be going through, but there's some cards that kind of are like cyclical, so you can kind of like repeat, and it just kept happening too much where we weren't seeing much of the deck, and it just wasn't fun.
So I feel like maybe if we played it at 3 or 4 player, I might have had different opinions about it, but I kind of agree. Like we got stuck only being able to play at 2-player, and so I was like, I could see how it could be good, but it's in my opinion.
It's like it could have been better maybe with 3 or 4, but I didn't even want to just take the time to try it. I was like, I'm just good. I'll move on and play something else.
Yeah, fair enough. So I need like a helmet Some punching gloves. Something.
Let me get the game off the shelf, and I'll just hit you with that.
My biggest flop of 2022 is probably.
This is not the category I thought you were going to put it on.
Her favorite game of 2022, and I mean, no offense, but it is Wonderland's War, and I don't see the hype of the game. It just does not make any sense to me. For me, the game part of Wonderland's War is the battles. And then you have all this extra time just kind of upgrading your character, and you're sitting there waiting so you can upgrade your character, and you can put people out on the board, and you're just like, I don't care about this going around the Wonderland's table tea time thing.
But that's what builds up the other half of the game.
But it's just an upgrade. You're just upgrading your character.
It's strategy.
No,
yes, you're building up your bag and what you can pull out later.
It's just upgrade like administration time, and I'm sitting here going, this is a third of the game. I'm trying to play the game, and the game's the war, and I want to play the war, and I'm just like,
The game is all of it.
It was a flop for me. I think I know what category she would have me put it in, and I agree it probably should go in that category too. But it was just I wasn't a fan of Wonderland's War. I mean, it's fine. I'll play it. The creator of it's a super nice guy, but it just didn't hit me the right way.
I can hit you with the game the right way,
but I don't want make me enjoy it.
I don't want to hurt my game, even though I would enjoy hitting you with it. I can't believe I had that as number 2 option. I'm just like, I can't talk to you now.
So there you go. If you were waiting since our last video.
Oh, yeah.
there it is. Wonderland's War is the biggest flop of 2022.
For him.
It should be for everybody, but let's be honest.
Anyway, we need to move on because Okay, number 3 is Best Ugly Game, which is what I thought. No,
I think the game is actually kind of beautiful.
Oh, no, yeah.
The Best Ugly Game? No.
Okay, anyway. So, my Best Ugly Game that we played in 2022 is going to be Pandemic Legacy Season 0. Because the board just looks gray and boring. It's... Because, like, in Pandemic, the games, like, it's... like it is the world, but it's all blue and, like, cool, like, colors. This was, when was it based? Like, the 60s or 70s? I can't remember.
I think it was the 60s.
I don't remember. But it's, like, old school, and so everything looks really retro, and I was like, this looks boring.
Old school, Cold War era.
Yeah, Cold War era. But I really liked playing through the story. Like, we've really enjoyed the Pandemic Legacy games for the most part. So that's why it's my pick for Best Ugly Game, because it didn't look good, but I had fun working through the story.
Interesting.
Thank you.
So, my Best Ugly Game, to call this game ugly, I think does it a disservice.
Well, it's...
because it does have some beautiful art. It has some beautiful cards and stuff. But there's just not too much of it.
Okay.
And so that's why I kind of called it an ugly game. And that was Moonrakers.
Oh.
Like I said, I do like the art on the cards and stuff, but there's just really not that much art.
It's kind of dark with pops.
Yeah, it's dark with pops, and I think it looks nice, but when I think of like a beautiful game, I think of lots of artwork and stuff like that, and this just doesn't have too much.
Okay.
So, we talked about this in our last video. The gameplay, in my opinion, is really fun. A lot of, cutthroat tactics you could use. But it's very dark. It's kind of monochrome in some places, but then you get pops of color here and there. So
it does look kind of cool, but yeah, it's definitely different compared to other games.
Yeah, it looks cool. So that's why I said to call it ugly is kind of disservice, but it just doesn't have all the art that some other games have.
All right. Fair enough. Okay, so that was our Best Ugly Game. Now, this is what I thought you were going to
do. Yeah, I figured
Number 4 is our Worst Beautiful Game.
I mean,
that's where I thought he was going to put Wonderland's War.
Wonderland's War would have worked in this
because it's not the biggest flop. It's not even.
You built that thing up. You hyped it, and you were watching all these
I'm still on the hype train. Okay, we need to move on from
bad.
this. No.
Yes.
No.
I don't think you're gonna like my answer to this either.
You're not gonna like my answer to this. So the worst beautiful game for me was 10 Penny Parks.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
I appreciate that that's not for everybody.
It looks beautiful, but I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad game. I need to give it more tries, but it just was like, okay. That's how I felt about the game. That my opinion could change after I play it even more, but yeah, it looked really pretty, and that's about as much as I liked about it.
No, fair enough.
All right, what's yours?
So my worst beautiful game, and again, you're not gonna like me for this, but it's Petrichor.
Well, that was like my number 4
I know.
game of 2022.
Petrichor is fine.
Okay.
I didn't find it overly compelling gameplay.
Okay.
But it does have some very beautiful components, some great artwork on the tiles and stuff. But, I mean, I found the gameplay just kind of meh to me. So, it wasn't that great of a game, in my opinion.
I thought you liked it.
It's fine.
It's fine. Okay, that's fine.
But, you know, I couldn't put Wonderland's War twice, so... Don't wait to die.
Oh gosh. I mean, with games, we have a lot of similar opinions on things. This video is telling you we have different opinions on very favorite games.
And I'm going hardcore too.
Yeah, apparently. It's like right out the gate. Okay, so number 5 was what was like one of your most anticipated games coming out in 2022, and did it live up to the hype? Mine was a very easy pick, and that was Wonderland's War, because I was super hyped up about it. And yes, for me, it did live up to the hype because I've had tons of fun playing it without Bryce and with Bryce. And yeah, that's all I'm gonna say for now.
My most anticipated game is one that we've actually got to play a lot of because we play tested it. We know the creator of the game pretty well. And then it was kickstarted, and I believe it was fulfilled in 2022.
Just barely, if you're talking about what I think about.
And that is Keep the Heroes Out.
Okay.
So it's a fun kind of reverse dungeon crawl, I guess, because you're the bad guys and you're trying to keep the heroes away from the treasure.
Like a tower defense game.
Yeah. So it's just a lot of fun, and I think it lived up to the hype.
Did you say keep the bad guys away from the treasure? We are the bad guys. You're keeping the heroes away from the treasure.
I thought I said it right, but maybe I said it wrong.
I don't know.
I don't remember. But yeah, you're the bad guys, and you're supposed to keep the heroes out of the dungeon and away from the treasure, and slay them.
I really like that game. It's a really fun one.
It is.
It wasn't on like our new to us lists because we had played it many times before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great game. So number 6 is most fun play of a game. This was really hard for me to kind of pick. I could probably say like tons of different ones, but I had to pick one, so I just picked one. And this was a game that I played at Dice Tower West last year. And I don't even know if I'm saying it correctly, but it's BISS 20. It's like BIS or BIS. I'm not sure. It's from some other country. But it's just this tiny little card game. But what you're doing is, it sounds ridiculous. All you're trying to do is count to 20. But when you're playing different cards down, like the number 2 will end up switching with number 5. Or for number 6, you have to like moo or like clap. Like it's a ridiculous little game. But we had so much fun playing it. There was like, I don't know, 6 or 7 of us going through it. And it got down to me and one other person. And it was a lot of fun and crazy and ridiculous.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I also had a hard time thinking of like the most fun play.
Because you've had so much fun playing Wonderland's War. Sorry.
That definitely was not on this list for this particular topic.
Yep.
But I think the most fun I had overall with a game that was kind of a story was Clank Legacy, Acquisitions Incorporated or whatever.
Yeah.
I really enjoy the legacy aspect. We had a lot of fun playing it. We had a friend of ours come up from Eugene and spent the night, a few nights, and we played through it pretty quickly. But it was a lot of fun to play Clank Legacy, just evolving that story and stuff. So it wasn't one specific game, but just the whole experience of it.
Yeah, that's valid. That's a good one. So number 7 is Insta-buy. So a game that you were like, I gotta buy that right now. I could probably say like 20 games. He probably had a hard time thinking about one.
No, actually, I thought of one, but it's...
Oh, from 2023, not 2022.
I was going to say,
right.
it's technically invalid, but we'll get to that.
I had several Insta-buys, but I would say the one that was the quickest for me was My Little Everdell. Mm-hmm. As soon, like, I heard about it, I'm like, oh, cool. I'm like, oh, it's at a convention. I probably can't buy it. And someone's like, you can buy it. I'm like, link, click, buy. I bought a game. No hesitation whatsoever. Usually I'm like, hey, what do you think? Buy.
Or she goes, hey, what do you think? I've already bought it.
But yeah, so My Little Everdell, I had to have it. I love Everdell, and I had like everything for it. And then they're like, hey, we came out with a kids version. I'm like, I have a kid. Yeah.
And even if I didn't.
Yep. I wrapped it up and gave it to him for Christmas. Just so it would feel like there's another present under the tree, but really it's for me. Yep. But it is for me to share with him.
So my Insta-buy technically is a game I played in 2022 and was looking for this game at local game stores, but never was able to find it because it's an older game.
And it was always out of stock.
And yes, it's always out of stock. And that is Memoir 44. However, last month or so, we went to a new game store that's by our house called Recreation Games, and they had the base game of Memoir 44 and all the expansions, and I wanted to buy all of it. But then I was like, I don't really want to spend a couple $100 at the moment, so just bought the base game. So that was probably the only time I've like insta-bought the game.
And he would have bought it earlier, he just couldn't.
Yeah, I would have bought it earlier. I was just not really wanting to order it off of Amazon. Yeah. And
and it was out of stock there too.
Oh, was it? I don't remember.
Yeah.
But the local game stores just didn't have it. So
okay. I'll give it to you. That's fine.
Yeah.
So number 8 is Glad I Played, but Don't Feel Like I Need to Own. And I feel like I could have put several on this list. And because of Board Game Arena, that's also helped me play some other games that I probably wouldn't have really bought. Maybe I would have played with other people. And I put down 2.
Okay.
One is Q-Birds. It's a game where like you're collecting different cards of cube-looking birds. But it's like set collection, and you kind of like have different interesting ways where you can put down cards to collect things. It's okay. I don't need to own it, and I don't really feel drawn to play it again. And my other one on that list, at least at this moment, is Azul. I was one of those people who was like, I don't need to try Azul. It looks whatever. Everybody's like, Azul, I love Azul. And I'm like, cool. I finally played it, you guys. I finally played it. And I was like, oh, okay. It's not too bad. But I don't feel compelled to purchase it because I can just play it easily on Board Game Arena and does all the stuff for me. Maybe one day I might buy it. I don't know. But I don't feel compelled to buy it. But I'll play it on Board Game Arena.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So this is another category you're probably going to disagree with me on.
No. Is it a game we own?
It is a game we own.
No!
Because I didn't think to do the Board Game Arena angle.
It's not Wonderland's War again, is it?
I mean, it would have fit, but I was trying to get a different game.
It's like all the negative categories. She's like, I could have just put Wonderland's War. Oh, that I would have like slapped you. Okay. Anyway.
I mean, I did think about it for this category, but I wanted to put it on flop because it was a bigger flop for me.
You wanted to like the most.
So you're probably gonna still think that though.
Okay.
So my game is Creature Comforts.
I can see that.
I mean, it's fine.
For him.
It's fine. The game, to me, it feels like it's supposed to be a kid's game, but it's too complicated to be a kid's game. But at the same time, I don't feel compelled to like bring it to the table, so I'm like, why do I need to own it? I'm glad I played it, but I just don't feel like we need to own it.
It's a mid-weight family game.
Yeah,
but it is on the heavier side.
It's
compared
on
to
the
other
heavier
games.
side, but then I don't know, it feels like it presents like a kid's game to me, just with the artwork and stuff, and it just feels like it's something we should be getting our son to play with us, and then it's like, oh wait, yeah, this is really complicated. You wouldn't be able to play this.
Okay.
And so it's just like, how does this fit into my collection? I don't really want to play it.
Okay.
So I don't need to own it. But we do anyway, so.
I almost sold it when we were getting rid of all those games, and you're like, you're gonna sell it? Because you don't want to play it with me.
Well, I was surprised you were going to sell it because I know how much you like it. I'll play it with you if you want. I don't feel compelled to play it.
I understand. That's okay. You can have your feelings.
Oh, you took that one better than Wonderland's were.
Well, yeah. So number 9 is best gateway game. This was really hard for me to choose because I feel like we played a decent amount of like easy entry games. But I decided to pick a Grandpa Beck's game, which is a very good just category of easy to play, family centered kind of things. And I picked Cover Your Assets, which the title doesn't sound too family friendly, but it's just a nice little card game that's just a quick and easy set collection where you can also have some take that where like you're stacking up different doubles, I guess, and you're trying to cover your assets because if cards are underneath, people can't take them, but they can try to like steal them, but you can also try to defend yourself. It's just super easy to play, and it has the updated version has art by Andrew Bosley, so I like his art too. But yeah, pretty fun game.
Yeah. So the game I chose was a game we play a lot with new people, and it's an older game, and that is Draftosaurus.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it's really easy to teach, and it has a really fun theme about filling like your zoo with dinosaurs. So you grab a small handful of dinosaurs. I think it's like 6 per round or something like that. You choose one, and you place it in the zoo depending on how the dice is rolled, and then you pass the dinosaurs. And so it's just a very simple game, very fun, and it's really easy to pick up.
And all the dinosaurs have like specific, unique shapes and colors, so it's really cool. Yeah. So number 10 is an oldie but newbie to us, and there were several of those that we played that other people have been playing for years, and we finally tried them, and it was kind of hard to pick one, but I decided to pick King Domino. I never really was interested in trying it. I was just like, okay, whatever, yeah, I've heard about it, but I don't really need to try it. I'm over it. And then I tried it on Board Game Arena. I'm like, oh, I kind of like this because I like puzzly type things, and it's just a straight up quick puzzly tile laying game where you're just trying to maximize your points, and all the tiles are like, not two sided. What's the word?
They're dominoes.
Yeah.
So there's
a top and a bottom.
a top and a bottom.
Thanks. Domino. Wow. So some of them may have like two things of like the hay color or whatever, or maybe like forest and water, and there's crowns that help like multiply your points. It's just a simple, quick game, and I've really been liking it on Board Game Arena.
Yeah, that's a good one. Mine I talked about in our last video, and that is Seven Wonders Duel. So we played it for the first time at a game shop, and just really enjoyed it. I could add Seven Wonders to this as well. I've played Seven Wonders. I don't know if you have. I played Seven Wonders on Board Game Arena, and I mean, similar concepts, different way to play, but still, they're both a lot of fun.
Yeah. Another one I could have put down was Castles of Burgundy, that I finally tried the ugly game that I've been wanting to like play a pretty version of, which we didn't back on GameFound. But yeah, I finally played it on Board Game Arena. I'm like, oh, this is a decent game. It's ugly, but it's good.
I tried playing Castles of Burgundy. I was too lazy to read the rules, and I was like, hey, Alison, how do you play?
Click.
And she like tried to give a brief explanation that didn't help me understand, so I just was clicking.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
So number 11 is upgraded or deluxified components. So there's lots of games that are out, and there's lots of games that are deluxified nowadays. So there are a lot of options to choose from. But one of my most favorite deluxified bits from games that we played this last year would have to be the chips in Wonderland's War. I like that they have like the kind of weight to them. It just kind of feels cool, like in the sound of the like clinking together. I've played the game with just the cardboard chips compared to the deluxe chips, and I definitely like the deluxe chips better. It's got that satisfying clink.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you pick?
So these aren't really bits per se, but my favorite upgraded components would be the monsters with the little stands that make noise from Dwellings of Elder Vale. So you put the monsters on the little stand and you turn it on and you like plop it down.
The completely unnecessary gigantic stands.
And it makes a little like roaring noise. Yeah, I love those things.
I forgot about those. Yeah, we don't have those. We just have the standees.
Yeah, we have the basic version of Dwellings.
But yeah, I forgot about that because when we played it with our friends, it was bad though because I bumped the table and something was like roar, and then I reached to do something and I accidentally knock it over and it's like roar again. I'm like, I'm sorry guys.
Yeah.
Those are ridiculous.
Yeah, I love those stands.
Okay. Christmas presents. Just kidding. It's probably like $50 just for those. I don't know. All right, that's a good choice. Okay, so number 12 is most enjoyable kid game or family game, I guess you could say. I went with the more kids route, and I picked Quest Kids. So that's a game that we've been playing a lot with our son, and it's kind of got like a dungeon crawl aspect to it. And you're just going through and you're doing kind of set collection and you're trying to get the bad guys away. And even though you want to try to win, there's a lot of moments where you can like work together and help each other. Yeah. And so it's just a great kids game, and it feels thematic for them, and they can get these big jewels and the cards are big. You got these fun minis. It's just a good little game.
So I went more, I guess, on the family side of things. However, you could easily play this with kids. It's very simple. And this is a game that we've probably played close to like 400 times in the last 8 months. Because
he's not joking.
Because of Board Game Arena, and we'll sit on the couch watching TV and play like 15 games of this.
Well, and we'll sometimes have like 3 games going on at the same time of it.
And anyway, this game is called Can't Stop. And so in the game you roll 4 dice, and the different combinations of dice make numbers, and you move up on the different number tracks, and you're supposed to get to like the top of the mountain on that track. And the first person to get 3 tracks to the top wins. So it's a very easy game, and like no kidding, we've played the game like 400 times in the last like 6 months.
Yep. Because we can't stop. Well, actually, really, what it is it's A, easy to play, and B, every time I lose a game with him, I instantly propose a rematch because I don't stop playing until I beat him. So, and then that process starts over another day.
Well, and then after like 2 or 3 games of me winning, she's like, now I need to start like 3 more games. So we have like 4 games going at once, and she won't stop until she beats me at all 4 of them. So we play like 20 games at once.
We're not that bad anymore. Yeah. When I did my board game stats for last year, and I was like, oh, how many plays did I get for the whole year? And I'm like, holy moly, how did I play that many games? And I like go click on it. It's like, can't stop.
200.
Like, I'm like, oh, right. I think I like took that out so I could have a more accurate reading of what I've been playing.
Yeah, I started collecting my BG stats from just the beginning of the year, and it's like, ridiculous. We've already played like 320 games of...
What? No.
Yeah.
It's okay. We can look it up later.
No, I will prove it to you right now.
Okay.
Where's my BG stats at? Here it is.
There's no way we played that many just this year.
Games. Can't Stop. Where's Can't Stop? Oh, sorry, 207.
This year? Or that's total? That's total.
Oh, I guess that is... How's that total?
Go back.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
maybe you're right. Maybe
you're right.
It's got
an Android. I don't know how to use it. Go to Insights. Or yeah, for the year.
Oh, interesting.
And then click the right year.
Okay.
How many?
We've only played it 20 times this year.
But know that I've played it more than that because I play with my friend Carrie a lot, and I've basically got her almost to like a 300 ELO.
That sounds wrong. We've played this more than 20 times.
Well, maybe you haven't updated it recently.
Maybe I haven't.
Moving on. So number 13 is most ruthless game or most ruthless play of a game. And I was like, which one do I pick? Because he plays ruthlessly in many games, but I picked the one where he straight up lied to my face. And that is Moonrakers. You have nothing to say, it's fine.
I picked that same game.
Okay,
so
fine.
I picked Moonrakers for this.
It's a game of, like, you're trying to do your best and you're trying to win, but you have to negotiate and work with people. But those people could also choose to sabotage you. And Bryce, he's like, I am not lying. Like, I need to do this with you. Please work with me. I agreed. And what did he do? He lied to me. And then
so I could sabotage her because that was my goal. I had a goal card that says sabotage somebody.
But why me?
Because you were the one I could finish it with.
So then we play it a whole separate time, like a month or two later. He does it again, and so the rest of the game, he's like, "You want to work with me?" And I'm like, "No." And I look at everybody else on the table, and I was like, "Anybody?" No. He was so mean, so mean. Okay, you explain yours.
No, I mean
That's it.
That was it. Like, it's ruthless.
Cause you lie.
You don't have to lie.
I know you don't have to, but you did.
And it was really nice and easy because it was like, look, I can do this because look, I have this extra bonus that helps do this on my spaceship, and it would be really easy for us to do this together. And you're like, okay. And then I'm like, I'm done. I'm not doing anything on my turn. And you're like, but I can't do this.
Yeah.
So I had to sabotage.
But you know what? I still won that game.
Did you really?
I did, but it took me a long time because no one would help me because I was in the lead for a while. I had to work my way around it. Anyway. Okay. So number 14 is best table presents. This was hard to choose because we've played a lot of pretty games. But I decided to pick Batoku. And that's a game that I kind of halfway played, so I did kind of play it in 2022. And it just...
Star West.
Yes, I wasn't going to say it this time. It was the first game I played at Dice Tower West. But it's just very striking. Like, the board is big and beautiful and has all these intricate things going on. And the pieces look cool, and your player boards look cool, and the box top looks really interesting. Like, just everything. You're just like, that's a game that you're walking by and you're like, ooh, what's this? So that's why I picked Batoku.
So I've already kind of mentioned my game for this pick.
Wonderland's more.
No.
I know.
Well, I mean, has a pretty good table presence.
It's a positive category. You wouldn't put it.
It does have a pretty good table presence. But the game that I chose has a great table presence because not only does it look great, but it is also immersive with the sounds that it creates.
that it can create if you paid all the money for those deluxe bits.
And that is Dwellings of Elder Vale. But in seriousness, I think it looks great as the different tiles create the board and the land of Elder Vale, and having the monsters come out just looks really cool. And I just think it has a great table presence.
It also probably has the biggest table presence.
That's true. It has a huge footprint.
Things that we've played recently. That's true. Yeah, valid.
And it immerses you with the sounds.
If you have it. I guess you could just make them like we've been doing this whole video. Okay, so number 15, best art. This was hard because I like pretty games. So how can I just pick one? But I had to go with one of my favorite games, and I picked Everdell. The art of the base game and all the expansions and the big box, everything just looks gorgeous. So that was an easy one for me for best of for art on the game.
So I felt good putting Everdell down as this category as well.
You did because it's actually pretty?
Well, yes, it's actually pretty, but also because you bought the big box.
You're welcome.
So I was like, yeah, because of the big box, and we actually added to the game and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, Everdell, I think, is going to take this category this year.
Well, and I really like the Mistwood box, and it's all purpley stuff. So I was like, ooh, look at this. Even though it has spiders, They're okay. They look fine. So number 16 is most thematic, and I feel like we played a decent amount of thematic games. But I went with one that you're probably gonna maybe disagree with me on. I don't know.
Wonderland's one.
No, I didn't. I didn't pick it for every category. It's just on here a couple times. Okay. I picked Petrichor for most thematic because I love the theme of it. You are literally a cloud moving around, raining down, and growing plants. I know, like, you could think of it just in the abstract way, but the whole time I'm like, I'm just a little white rain cloud. Like, I love the theme, and so it just makes me happy. So I picked Petrichor.
No, that's a good one for that one. I went a little different, because the theme in this game, I think, might get lost to the gameplay a little bit, but when you really think about it, it's there, and that is
Okay.
Fantastic Factories.
Huh. Okay.
Where you are rolling dice, you're upgrading things, and you're building a factory
And it's fantastic.
in your little area, in your little tableau. And so
Okay.
I thought the theming for it, I mean, not everybody's probably going to agree with me, but I was like,
No.
I'm going to be different and pick that one.
Huh. Okay.
Because you
Yeah.
are building like a little factory to help yourself improve and move on in the game.
Yeah, I wouldn't have picked that.
I know.
Whatever makes you happy. Because I'm like, keep the heroes out, Wonderland's
theme.
War. So number 17 is easiest to teach. And I feel like we played a decent amount of easy games this year. Just some lighter games to get into. It's just easier to get to the table. I picked Paint the Roses. So I feel like it's one of the easier ones to teach where like it does have like a decent amount of rules, but it's like, okay, you get a gold card, everybody gets a gold card, and then you place down a tile, and it's like, okay, if that gold card matches what was placed down and something next to it, put down a cube every time. And then you need to deduce one of the cards and keep on playing. But anyway, so I feel like it's decently easy to teach, at least in person. So that's why I picked Paint the Roses.
Okay.
Okay.
I was seeing if I wanted to change my answer to this one because I just kind of wrote down something Alison mentioned when we were like talking about this because I was having a hard time choosing one for this game.
Okay, what did you put?
Well, I ended up putting Metro X.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean, it's a really easy flipping, right? Right? You flip
Yeah,
cards?
flipping
Okay,
right, yeah.
I was like, wait, I'm doubting myself. Is it a card game or is it a rolling one?
Flipping right.
Anyway, it has cards. Anyway, so it's really easy to teach, but it is very hard to master. But at the same time, I think people kind of get lost and confused in the mid game. They're like, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
But that's just more of a strategy thing than a teaching thing. I think.
Yeah. It's not too hard to teach. There's just like, oh, how do you do the transfers and other stuff. But I feel like you can kind of like walk people along with it. Or ride along because it's in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So number 18 is best deal. So there's a few different ways you could have interpreted this one. I went with what I literally like got as a best deal, like what I paid for. So last year, around Black Friday or a little bit after, I can't remember, I heard that Fantastic Factories was being sold for $5. And I was like, that's gotta be a mistake. Because we had played it with our friends and we were like, oh yeah, that was really fun, but we didn't own the game. And I heard it was for $5. I'm like, are you serious? And it's like from the publishers, $5. I'm like, okay. So I asked Bryce, I'm like, do you want this? He's like, sure. We paid like double that just for shipping, but even still, we paid less than half of what the game actually is just for all of it. And I was like, that's the best deal I got. So a $5 board game for like a, I don't know, like $40, $50 game. Bam. What'd you do?
So my best deal is something Alison may have forgotten about.
Okay.
But we got War of Whispers.
Oh yeah, in a trade. Yeah, we did get the better end of that deal.
Because the person we traded with had 2 copies of War of Whispers, and it's the deluxe like Kickstarter.
Yeah, he had the deluxe bits, and he threw that in there because he said he liked this.
Yeah. So we did get a very good deal in our trade.
We traded Terror Below, which it's a fun little game, and it was like sleeved and all that, but yeah, we weren't pulling it out anymore.
Yeah, we aren't playing it as much.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
Yeah. But just like all the deluxe bits and stuff for Terror Below, and
yeah,
it was a good deal. And we ended up getting Terror Below at a decent deal because the game store was closing.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
was selling
we did.
it, so it was kind of like a double deal.
Double deal. Well, we got that like
Well,
year
we'd
before.
gotten it like a long time before that, but
Okay. So number 19 is best small box game, and I feel like we played a ton of small box games, and so I went for one of the smallest ones, and I picked Scout, which is a quick trick-taking game with cards. Just a fun, unique aspect where instead of being able to like organize your cards, it's however you pick them up. That's the order they have to stay in. If you have your cards oriented one way, you may have like certain numbers, but if you flip them over, you'll have different numbers. So it's kind of a fun twist on trick-taking games.
Yep. So I actually wrote down 3 games because I was having trouble choosing one.
Did you pick Rove?
I did.
Okay.
So I picked Scout as well, and then I also picked Rove, which is a
Button Shy
like pocket game. It has just a handful of cards, and you have this rover that's navigating different terrain and stuff, and so you're trying to manipulate the rover to get over that terrain. It's a really fun game. And then the last game was a prototype that we tried, and I think it went to Kickstarter. You can correct me.
small box game?
It's a small bag game.
Oh, Bagchal?
Bogjaw.
Okay. Yeah. We got that too in 2022.
Yeah. And so it's a game that is from Nepal. Well,
Yes.
the game itself is not from Nepal, but the game is Nepalese, and it's what is it? There's like 3 tigers, and one player is the tigers, and the other player is the goats, and the tigers are trying to like eat the goats, and the goats are trying to kind of pack together to stay safe. And so it's an abstract strategy game. It's really fun, and it comes in that very small bag, as Alison showed you.
And he wins like every time. Because I'm so bad at that game. Was that all yours?
That was it.
Okay. So number 20 is favorite component or components. There's so many cool bits in board games these days. I feel like I could just make a top 10 list of my favorite components. I don't know if anybody would watch it, but I would have a lot to talk about. But I picked the Keep the Heroes Out meeples because they're super cute and they're big and chunky, and I love that there's just a variety of them, like little witches and little wolves and ghosts and dragons and adorable Cthulhu. Cthulhu is not adorable in like any other game besides that game, and yeah, I could just go on and on.
They do. Those are very good. But my component is actually a game box.
And the box. Oh yeah, that's true.
Don't go in there. The box is actually a dice tower.
Yeah, you take this out, and then there's little bloop, and you just drop your glowing ghost dice. I thought you were gonna pick the dice.
No, I like the box.
But yeah, the box is really cool where it's part of your game. And it's also extra cool because it's got my name on it.
But so yeah, the box is my favorite component in that game. I think it's just really interesting how you can convert the box into a dice tower, and I thought that was really unique for a game.
That works. And now number 21 is best game played in 2022.
And I just decided on mine. But you go first.
Just now. So we did do a top 10 like new to me games. So this doesn't have to be a new to you game. It could be an old game. It could be a game from 2022. I originally just picked like my favorite game that I played last year, and that was Wonderlands War, hands down, easy choice for me. If I picked something that wasn't new to me or super fresh, I would pick Lost Ruins of Arnak.
Interesting. I'm surprised you didn't pick what I'm picking, and that is Oros.
Because I didn't play that copy of it last year.
The specific copy? We played the game like 100 different times, but you didn't play that specific copy?
Well, because all the other times I played it was a prototype, and we got that in December, and then I was sick, and so I didn't even unbox it for like a week, and then we didn't ever play it because I was sick for so long, and then we've just been busy.
But we played the game 100 different times before that.
Yeah, but I'm talking about 2022.
We played it in 2022. Yeah. And we actually got it in 2022. We just haven't played that copy.
That's why
the reason?
That's why it's not on my list, because I haven't actually played my copy.
Interesting. Even
So-
though you've played the game.
Shush. I don't know. Did I play it in 2022 besides online a couple times? I don't know.
I don't know.
But for 2023, expect for that to be all over my lists.
But I chose Oros. It's a very fun game. You're a demigod and you get to manipulate land, and you have followers that build like temples and shrines and stuff to you, and
The volcanoes.
volcanoes that blow up.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's fun.
It's a great game. I just didn't put it on anywhere because I haven't like really been playing it in 2022. And because
Fair enough. I was surprised.
It's because we didn't get to it. If we had gotten to it, it would have been many places. And it would have been up there in my... Well, it's not a new to me game. Whatever. Yeah, it would have been on there. That's fine. But I didn't put it yet because we didn't play it. It's a great choice. I love that game, though.
Anyway, so that is our best blank of 2022.
Best, most, worst. Some mistakes were made.
Not her. I love her. She pointed at me too. So.
I meant like your choice of Wonderlands where I wasn't thinking about it.
I really like. That's what I meant. It was like your choices, but I realized I was pointing at you, and you pointed at me. So I was just making
that's like
clear.
your list.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I wasn't thinking about you as a mistake, just your choices of.
I wasn't
games.
thinking about you as a mistake either, but I realized I was pointing, and people might have misconstrued it.
No, yeah, we still love each other, even though he disses some of my favorite games. It's okay.
And even so, though she won't even try some of my favorite games.
I just haven't gotten to it. I haven't had a chance. I'll play Memoir 44 sometime, okay? So, do you agree or disagree with some of our choices? Do you think Bryce is right about Wonderland's War or Petrichor or whatever? Or do you think we're wrong about Red Rising? There's so many opinions, but I'd love to hear what your best of for, 2022. Any one of these. I want to hear about it.
Yeah, it'd be fun. So comment below if you have any comments on what your best of or worst of for 2022
And
were.
if you're more of Team Bryce or Team Alison on the lists overall.
Especially with regard to Wonderland's War.
I won't be offended if you're more Team Bryce for things.
Wonderland's War? Yeah.
No, just in general, so that way I don't feel so bad. People don't like the game. But people like the game, I think. But anyway, so...
I think I'm in the minority with Wonderland's War, but...
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's pretty well received, I would say, overall.
I know, that's why I said I think I'm in the minority, but I still feel strongly about my opinions of it.
And I do too. But anyway, I'm Alison.
I'm Bryce, and we're Better Half Reviews.
Happy gaming.
Have fun.
You want to play Wonderland's War?
Nope.
Creature Comforts?
I'm more into that. Sure.
Petrichor?
Sure. As long as you play Memoir 44 with me.
Or Dwellings of Eldervale? we need to move on from
bad.
this. No.
Yes.
No. Oh, though I can't believe I had that as number 2 option. I'm just like, I can't talk to you now. Make your own kind of music. It's stuck in my head like